Hey friends, it's me, the Ebony Otaku, the well-rounded nerd, getting ready to go to an evening of painting with my husband, but I need to prime a couple of things for him first, and I need to re-base coat this guy. I started doing a little bit of dry brushing, and I didn't like where it's going. So I'm just going to re-base coat basically the purple bits because on this one it was a much brighter pink, and then I did a wash on it. I like this look better than dry brushing, and then I'm going to do some actual highlighting with gold manually to make pull the look all together. So mistakes were made. I'm going to stack these here for now. It's my texture palette. I'm actually going to set this over here because I don't need it at the moment, because I'm just going to be base coating first, not base coating. Priming. So let me get my airbrush hose. Where is the one for this one? The compressor should be on. It's not. Is it? Yep, it's on. All right, good deal. So you notice I don't have my ring on. Um, I'm using these gloves, which are great, but they're very thin. And that big old ring my husband got me will break out. She flexed. I am in my husband's office. That's why things don't look the same. I can't wait for y'all to see it after I get some decorating done over the coming weeks. I can only do one room at a time. I don't do multiple projects at once. Same thing even when I'm painting. I get an idea of what I want to do. I actually have a list. Where is it? Taking it with me tonight to catalog some things, but this is my notebook. It keeps track of three things. It keeps track of my painting and building schedule, and I cannot buy anything new until I complete two projects. So I'm never overwhelmed. And I have things listed in order in here, but then also of my YouTube recording, what I want to record next and when it needs to go up on the channel. I mean, full disclosure, y'all know I record ahead. I'm already almost done with March and I'm already into April. That way my channel is keeping things going while I, um, one, redecorate my home, and two, I'm going to be starting my master's degree. So between that and work, I want the channel to keep producing because if you're late to the party, I'm going to use the revenue from this channel to fund a Taekwondo school, a community Taekwondo school through the mission I'm a part of, the World Christian Taekwondo Mission, so that students can attend at no cost, which is what we do with the Mission Taekwondo School. So I finally have a goal for my channel. So I keep a log of this. That way I can record, once I get out ahead a certain amount of time, then I can record one or two videos a week, no pressure. But right now I'm kind of in a recording frenzy. This also keeps track of my mead making in the SCA. So I'm going to be apprenticing in the arts in the SCA, along with looking for a knight to squire to for fighting. But this is so that as I produce product, I can keep track because my husband got me this notebook. But look at here, it's a notebook made of multiple little notebooks. So each notebook section is something else. I still have space for two more organizations in here. So my job has made me a list maker. What can I say? So this is spraying nicely. I always like to throw a little water in there first, make sure it's spraying as good as I think it is. Because if it's not spraying out, then I know I got an issue. Let me loosen this up a little bit. I got nothing coming out. No water, no nothing, which tells me I got a clog that I don't know about. No, as I take layers off and still nothing. So I need my little tool here to see what the problem is. I cleaned my airbrush pretty thoroughly, but the last thing I used was metallics. And if you don't know about these metallics, they are suspended in this really clear medium. And then your metallic shows up a little bit later into your paint job. So when you're first using these metallics for airbrush, don't be alarmed if when you start using like, oh, that's not the color I think it's going to be. It's going to take a couple of coats, maybe three. And then also it is suspended in a viscous fluid. And that suspension liquid is filmy. And because of that, it can clog your tools pretty easily. You have to be very thorough in making sure you get all the gunk out, which I thought I had. But that's okay. I've gotten really good at taking this thing apart and reassembling. If Lester's watching and Chris are watching out there, who I learned how to use my airbrush from, I hope y'all are proud. So I'm going to get in here with my brush with actually some alcohol first. So I'm going to cap the tip Put my finger. This is my alcohol squirt. The blue one is water. And I actually just picked up some little condiment bottles from the grocery store for when we go to Mastermind. That's the place that has a really good airbrushing setup. And the painters there are all super helpful. And both shops we go to, the painters are super helpful. But they really specialize in helping people get better. So when I go there and I take my airbrush, I like to make sure I have all my stuff. Yes, they let me use their stuff, but I'm very Southern. Can't help it. Cannot help it. A Q-tip is honestly the best thing for cleaning, which I have those. But even when I move the needle out, it was kind of wanting to stick. So I'm going to clean the needle as well. So we're just being very thorough, letting that soak for a second. And it's stuck in my hair. I can't wait for my next hair color. It's going to be so boss. Although I'm loving the blue and yellow. It's quite the combo. You know why I ended up with blue and yellow? It wasn't because I was just being extra. I had several choices in the hair I wanted to use. And I bought hair to braid my own hair instead of doing crochet braids. And it's winter time. So I really like the box braids, but they're better for summer when it's cooler outside because there's more of my scalp exposed. So I opted to go with these, but I didn't have enough blue to do just blue. I didn't have near enough yellow to do just yellow. So I was like, I looked up online and it looks like blue and yellow work together. So let's see if we can make it work. And that's how she got blue and yellow. And it turned out to be a really good combination. Oh, this needle's dirty, dirty. Make sure when you're cleaning your needle to always go outward with it. If you mess up the tip of the needle's trash. You can use it for cleaning, but you can't use it for painting anymore. So always go backwards with it from base to the needle point. Because if you mess up this, you'd have to get another one, which they aren't crazy expensive, but if you're new to the hobby and you're just trying to figure it out, it can be very frustrating. Like, I'm having printer troubles right now with my 3D printer. It's being a jerk, and everything that I've seen says that I need to turn down the temperature of my nozzle. The nozzle's too hot. And what I think has happened is I moved the printer inside while it was during the worst part of the winter, so that temperature wouldn't affect the quality of my prints because it started getting weird outside. And when I brought it in, it started behaving. I think what's happened is now the temperature in the house is too high for it against the print bed and the print nozzle. So I might either need to move it back outside, which is probably what I'm going to do, honestly, or I need to figure out how to lower the extrusion temperature. So I'm going to try lowering the because it's not February. It'll be February on Saturday when I'm filming this. So I'm a little scared to bring it back in because we're like in fake spring right now. Like my blueberry bushes that I brought inside to plant next year are blooming, and I'm like, um, it's not real spring yet. Like my orchids on my desk are blooming because they're facing the window and they think it's spring. It's not. But they have long lasting blooms. I'm not super worried about it. Whenever you rinse with alcohol, though, you do need to make sure you go back and rinse with water because the alcohol, while it dissolves paint, it can leave a gunk behind, and you don't want gunk. Yes, I'm pouring this straight on my desk. My husband did buy me a paint pot that has a stand on it, which actually, let me just go ahead and set that here. Boom. Nope, that blocks the view. We don't want it there. His is in the middle. I don't really have a spot for this yet. So I'm going to use the desk until I figure out where it's going to go. I need to rearrange this desk. We're getting a new desk anyway, but still. I'm using the caddy that I got, that makeup case that's going to go to Adepticon with me to carry my army. I am using it right now as my travel paint case. One, because it holds more, and it's pink, and it has wheels. So, and plus it's easier to get it out of the way when we go to Work in Progress Wednesday or go over to the other shops. So that's where that paint disappeared to. Now I've got all my paints perfectly organized by like type of paint, color family. It's a good time. It's a good time. All right, I'm feeling good about that. Nozzle's cleared. This is clear. This is kind of dirty. Let me alcohol this first and then scrub. Where did I put it? No scrub. I kind of like this angle. I do like the top-down angle when I'm building. I have some more of those videos coming from when I was building my Titan. I do like this, though, because I can talk and y'all can see me work at the same time. The proof that it was me For those who are saying the nays, that's it's not a lot of people. It's like 3 folks. I got the weirdest comment on a short when I was having trouble with my bamboo. And I'm not knocking bamboo at all. Anything that's made by humans is going to have a failure point. And I actually said in that short that anything man-made can have a failure point. And I think somebody took umbrage with that. Yes, that's where Dolores Umbridge's name comes from, taking umbrage with something, because that's all she did. She's the worst. I cannot reread that book. I can reread any of them, but book 5 won't touch it, won't go near it. Hated that, like way too triggering. But yeah, they commented, oh, so yeah, man-made. I was like, dude, I'm assuming it was a dude. We're gonna call him dude anyway in the universal sense. Man-made, mankind. Man is the English literary plural of men and women, of everybody. Man means mankind. That's how language works. Folks just be out here trying to be mad about something all the time, and there's nothing to be mad about. Like I honestly make a point in my life to find more reasons to smile than frown, because there are plenty of reasons to frown, lots of them, all over the place. And I don't want to frown. I want to smile. I want to be happy. Um, hey, quit picking at that, Sammy. He's not in the cone right now. And so he takes liberties to pick at his little thing that is basically healed, but he needs to leave it alone. Every time it scabs over, he's like, no, I will put you back in the cone. Mommy loves you. Mommy will cone you. All right. So let's see if my nozzle's behaving. Let's get this out the way, put them back where they go. My side of the desk is very organized. My husband's done a good job, though. He cleaned off his desk recently. So we are very different people when it comes to that kind of thing. Lovely. So now this is where I start testing it in layers. First, yeah, that sprayed out nicely. This isn't tight enough. There we go. Gotta make sure the needle moves back. So now I will start using water in layers to test that it's spraying correctly. That looks good. All right, it's coming out of the needle pretty straight. When you're just spraying from the needle without the cap and stuff on, it's going to spray wild. So don't freak out about that, because you got to add the layers. So this next, because it channels the flow. See how that looks? Ooh, that might be perfect. And then last but not least, spray nozzle. Lovely. Now I can back it down. I need to put my control back on. What this is, there's 2 airflow controls, one for your needle and one for your air compressor itself. This one, and if I can line it up perfectly, because there's a little nib in there I've got to line it up with. Can you see it? Yeah. That I've got to line the needle up with. What that's doing is controlling my trigger pressure on my airbrush, so that if I want to do some finer work, I don't pull the needle back quite as far, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, and it gives me a little more control. And then there's the flow control here of how much air pressure is coming in. And that keeps you from using too much paint. So now that I've got it spraying nicely, that was air. Let me spray water through. Oh, yeah. Oh, that looks good. Awesome. Water's out. Now I can prime. All I'm doing right now is priming, and then I'm going to correct this little bit here. Reamer. This reamer is one of the best things I ever bought. So there's that. I'm going to put this on my paint shaker. Keep it on the floor. It's very loud. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to take it with us this evening to paint. I think I will. I haven't decided. I love this paint shaker. Makes everything so much easier. So a few things are priming. This is for some friends of mine. They came to my husband's birthday party and they really enjoyed painting figures. So I got them a painting starter set. And then me and my husband are 3D printing some figures for them to paint. Make sure all the water's out of here. Awesome. Now the thinner is usually, not the thinner, the primer is usually already at a good viscosity. My poor old dog. Him's old man. He's 12 or 13. So him got the mobilities, but he's on a good supplement. He gets his shot every single month. But yeah, so my husband's printing things for them. I'm going to take them to them this weekend when I go to town for Taekwondo. That's Flow Improver. This is thinner. I'm using about 4 drops of each because I'm going to fill this up because I've got a lot of things to prime. I hear you, man. Life sucks. I'm going to attempt to take him on a little bit of a promenade when I'm done with this. We'll see how far he can go. I don't know yet. I'll probably need this entire thing. This is not black primer. This is dark neutral gray. That black primer, it doesn't matter if it's AK, Pro Acryl, doesn't matter. It'd be selling out fast. Like, you go to the store looking for it, and it's like, where is the... I'm doing a backflow mixing. Just a little bit of a mix to get a little bit of that in there. But yeah, it stays sold out. Okay, look, spraying nice. I'm going to do my husband's stuff first. So he's going to be working on this evening. Or no, he printed this for one of our Aeronautica people who thought it was cool. He has one for the campaign that we're playing right now. So I don't think he wanted me to zenithal it. But, oh, the airbrush is working mightily today. I like it. I like it when it works well. I got more confidence using the airbrush after taking an airbrush class. I think I've said that a few times. When I go to Adepticon with my husband, we have both signed up for the advanced airbrush class because I'm definitely not an airbrush amateur. I've learned a lot, but I would love to learn more, especially from the professional painters that will be there. The painters that I know have given me a lot of good advice, but it's going to be cool to go to another class like that. So when I first bought my airbrush, the vendor who sold it to me, which I bought this one, this is a Grex, and it's what I learned on, so I'm used to the trigger ones. My husband has a couple of different kinds of airbrushes, but I bought it from Mastermind Gaming, and when you buy an airbrush from them, as of when I'm recording this, they will teach you how to use it. A class on using it comes with buying the airbrush, which fantastic, right? And I thought I understood what I was doing. And my husband and I go there quite a bit because he games over there. Um, and then we do our paint and take dates there. It was actually the first date he took me on when I started visiting him instead of him coming up to Nashville to see me. And so it holds a special place in our heart where you can pay, and sit and use their paints and stuff all day. It's a good time. You got to schedule it, but it's a good time. Get in their Discord, schedule some time. But the gentleman who showed me how to use my airbrush, super cool guy. I thought I was understanding, and this was like a year and a half ago. When I went home to try to use my airbrush without supervision, it didn't quite work out. And I'll be honest, instead of going back and getting more help, I got frustrated because I felt like, especially, for what I do for a living, I'm a corporate trainer, so I'm real big on, knowing stuff the first time and not needing a lot of direction. I was kind of like embarrassed that I didn't pick it up right away. So I didn't go back and ask for more help, and he kept asking me, like, so how's the airbrushing coming? And I'm like, great. I was lying through my teeth because it wasn't going great because I wasn't doing it. How can it be doing anything if you're not actually doing it? But I did go back and get some more help. And then another one of our friends who works at a different hobby store, but we knew him before he started working there. I can mention 2 stores in one video. The other one would be High Ground Hobbies. They're equally awesome. Different ideas for their stores. Very different stores, but equally great in what they accomplish at them. I'll not say a bad word about either of them. They're both great. But one of the gentlemen who has started working there, who was one of our Aeronaut buddies, he did an airbrushing class. And I gotta say, Chris, you're a good teacher. So that class really got me to understand, like, the finer details, because the introduction upon buying it, is not a full-on painting class, and this one was a full-on painting class. But now there's things I want to learn how to do, like detail and whatnot, and so that's why I chose to sign up for that event at Adepticon. So these are guns for my little bitty tanks here. If you don't know the story with my tanks, I printed out 3 pred tanks, and they're glorious. They're beautiful. Wrong size. So they now belong to one page rules. They are not for 30K. Because if I go play actual 30K, anyone who knows the game really well is going to look at those and go, they're way too big. And they are, but they're beautiful. So I'm not getting rid of them. They're great. Maybe one day they might become a giveaway on the channel. Because my first giveaways are going to be action figures. But I'm thinking about stuff that I print and make as giveaways as well as I hit certain milestones. One of those might end up being one. Because I'm going to give stuff away, I want it to matter. Like, I don't want to give away, like, just generic stuff. But again, it would be for milestones and stuff like that. Or, like, if I ever decide to do channel memberships, maybe once a month for channel memberships, give away something that I've custom printed and painted through a drawing, you know. Or even just, maybe I do a figure a month or something like that. I'm thinking up ideas because I really, really want um, to make the dream of doing the Taekwondo class a reality. I don't want it to just be a dream. Um, but I want to keep with our school and our mission's vision of this type of class is not for commercial purposes. It's not for me to make money. It is a community outreach. It is a ministry. So having a goal with my YouTube to do that is kind of great. Because doing stuff because it's fun is one thing, but having a purpose behind it kind of changes the vibe a little bit. And because my purpose isn't to pay my bills, that even keeps it in that fun realm. Because I've always said, I'm not going to do this if it's not fun. The second it's not fun, I'm not doing it. Whether it helps me out with something or not, because I can just adjust my budget and pay for my class anyway. But I'd rather not take that money out of my regular household budget if I don't have to. These are the Sponson pens that I'm spraying in my hand. They're so light that they just blow around. So I'm just keeping them in my hand because they're going to go with that. So there's that. Those are painted. I'm just setting them on the bare table to dry because they won't stick. This is the last thing that I'm going to be priming. And it's for my good friend's husband. He was asking if we have more human characters. And I'm not going to lie, this one kind of looks like him. We printed these from, oh goodness, I always forget her name. I've got to find the name of where my husband gets these models. But this is a give, not a sell. When it comes to 3D printing, people have asked me, why don't I sell prints? It's because right now I'm using other people's models. If I design something myself, I could absolutely sell it, but we have not gotten the commercial licenses. I would have to get the reprint commercial license in order to sell or use it as a giveaway item for channel memberships. Now, if I was just giving it away for subscriber count, I can just give it away. But if money's involved, gotta do it the right way. I don't believe in taking away profit from creators. I don't even honestly like printing stuff like this when I know G-Dubs makes it. The reason I printed these is I made one tank from G-Dubs. One. It was a Spartan tank that came in that box right there. Almost took me out. It almost took me out. It was so frustrating to build. And maybe at some point I will try a vehicle again, but right now I ain't doing it. That is it. So there's my flaw. There's my hypocrisy. There's something so relaxing about just priming because you're not going for exactness, you're going for coverage. And I love this AK primer because it clings really good and it dries really fast. I'm not going to do a xenophil on this because my friend and her husband are new to this, so I'm not going to overwhelm them. I got them I tried to get them a set that was decent paint, but gave them as many colors as possible, and I got them a wet palette as well. I'm just that way. I'm extra, and I love my people. And acts of service is my love language for sure, as far as like outward. Giving gifts and acts of service is me. Not everybody likes to receive gifts, and I understand that. I've got friends who, if you give them something, they're like, what do you want in return? And that's fine. That's because it's not their language. So you have to learn the way people like to give and receive love, to have the best relationship. But I've known them for a very long time. It was so great seeing them at my husband's party. My friend and her husband actually commented it was just nice to have a family fun day. It wasn't like they were doing one of the kids' activities or anything like that. They were just having a good time. And the kids had so much fun. I'm going to let you know, you leave your kids in my presence. Not my fault they got chocolate. I'm everybody's favorite auntie. It's what I do. I may have actually gotten too much primer out, and I don't need to prime. There's nothing else. out that needs priming, I don't think. I don't see anything else. But let me make sure. This gray is so different from the actual black. I kind of like it. I might start using this more. Just remember on your metallics, though, you really need a dark undercoat. I don't know if those metallics would work on this gray. I'm going to have to do some testing to find out. But I'm going to try to figure out how to turn down the nozzle temperature tonight when I get back on my 3D printer. I'm not going to do it before I go to paint party. Because paint party. Work in progress Wednesday. Because it'll slow me down. It's already after hours. I'm already going to be late. So I'll just deal with it when I get home. Yeah, he's thoroughly primed. I am Optimus Prime. All right, we're going to let him dry. And I did use a little bit too much. You should always start with less. I should obey my own rules. But that's okay. You know what I'm going to do? Pour it back in. Sure am. We don't waste paint in this house. In you go. It's got thinner in it. Sure does. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Now, this is where I do need to use my paint pot. Because I've got to spray all of this out of here. So I'm going to put this back. Oh, no, I moved my light. My light is clipped. His is on a stand. This is where I need to use the paint pot because I've got to spray all of this out of here. So I'm going to clean this with a brush. But I don't want to take this apart right now. So I'm going to pummel it with water. And I think I need to open this up a little bit more. There we go. But I'm just going to spray, 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 spray. And then wipe. Where's my brush cleaner? After I do this initial get in here, clean this paint out. Make sure you get it out from the sides. You know, the reason I'm not using the paper towels, I would just be soaking it this time. So there's a limit. I saw a chip of paint, so I'm going to pour it out. I have a little pot standing by that if I see clumps, I can just pour it out. Because you don't want clumps in the nozzle, because then I'll just end up having to clean it all over again. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Wipe, wipe, wipe. So now I'm going to spray through with some alcohol and then water again. Remember, if you do just straight alcohol and leave it, it could clump your paint up because it's pulling it off. And if the alcohol evaporates and it's not perfectly clean, you could end up with clumps. Okay, next, the alcohol spray. I love these. This was one of the things I got advice on at work at the airbrush class was, to have these kinds of squirt bottles for airbrushing available to you. I will say having a paint pot, if you're sensitive to odors, is very helpful, especially when you're cleaning, if you're using alcohol or anything, because now the odor is contained in the pot and there's like a little filter here. So ickiness doesn't get out into your air. And spray it with water. The reason I took the cap off is several times I've forgotten when I put this in the pot and it's gotten stuck in the opening. So I just clean it separately. Thorough spray, thorough spray. And now I'm going to fix my mistake. That looks good. Happiness. Yeah. Okay. So put this back over here. And a little bit of water. Let's clean this guy out. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Just drug my hair through paint water. It happens. I could have pinned it back. I didn't. I was at the gym the other day, and I was walking around, and I need to go see some folks, and I left my Hello Kitty Stanley somewhere. And I went up to the desk to ask if anybody had seen it, and all those women, they were so cute. They went on high alert. They're like, "What? That was a limited run. They don't make a bunch of those. We will find it." And I was like, I can't be upset because if I do lose it today, because I'm the one who was careless. And lost it. So I wasn't going to be mad at anybody, but everybody helped me, and we did end up finding it. So, when it comes to like, if you lose bits and stuff, give yourself a little bit of grace. It's going to happen. Like in my travels and stuff, I cannot tell you how much jewelry I've lost traveling the planet. Just earrings fell out of my ears. I lost a ruby stud in North Carolina once. No idea what happened to it. It's gone forever. Let's see here. I need a Q-tip, and I've got some handy. I think down in here. At least I thought I did. Oh, no. I think they're in the top. Who's calling me? Not that I care. Look, I'm not recording with my phone. You know what? Record how you record. Oh, husband. Checking all the phones. Checking all the phones. I thought, where did I put them? Did I put them down here? You know, it's like when you reorganize some stuff, but you forget where you put everything. That's where I'm at right now. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I'll just grab one of these because I need to clean off the gunk from the tip of the sprayer. Makeup caddy. That's what that is. That's a makeup set that I got on Amazon. It was like $7. It's my airbrush cleaning set. There we go. Gunk free. That's what we like to see. Gunk free. Now we should spray true. Put this back where it goes so I don't lose it. And my wrench. One more water check to make sure it's spraying the way I want. And sometimes what I'll do is actually spray a little thinner through it. That way, if there is any gunk in there, I can get it right out because thinner thins paint. Oh, that's spraying nicely. Okay, so we're going to have to tighten this up a little bit for what I'm about to do. Looking good. All right, so that's another reason you wear a glove, so you can just spray in your hand. I'm going to open my airbrush painting kit. And I need to do a spray over on the mistakes I made here. So let me find the paint that I used for that. I like the color. Here it is, People Eater. I really do like the color, but mistakes were made. Actually, I might take this opportunity to... No, I think I'll go with People Eater. Let me not. What is this? Wavelength. Is this the wavelength? No, it was People Eater. One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple People Eater. I do have Idle on. That's what I should have sprayed on there, was Idle on there, clear purple, for highlights. And that's what I'll do this time. Oh, that's where all my little cleaning things are. They were in here, where I put them. In the airbrush kit. The airbrush cleaning stuff is in the airbrush kit. I know, right? Crazy. Syringa. No, not you. Or, actually, I think we're going to overspray with the hotline. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to change its color altogether. And then go in there with the purple. That's a different color. Yeah. Not the Romeo and Juliet. Not you. Not Sugar Rush. Just making sure this is my open hotline. I believe it is. I'm going to take this opportunity to completely change its color. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right. Shake, shake, shake. I'm going to have to put your cone back on you. Yes, sir, I am. He done chewed the scab right off. It's mostly healed over, but he will not leave it alone. He just won't. And I hate to do it because he's having arthritis right now. And we're getting him treatment, but there are babies, right? So I'm taking a risk with what I'm about to do. This is not an instructional channel. This is just what I do. So Flow Improver first. I have found that for this, using these, and again, every airbrush is different, but I have found that using these metallics, that Flow Improver matters more than thinner. It's already pretty darn thin. So if you add too much thinner, you're not painting anymore. So is this the new one or the open one? No, it's the open one. Come on. Doesn't matter. They'll all get used. I was going to repaint my nails today until I realized I was going to do some airbrushing. And I was like, nope. I'll repaint my nails when I'm not airbrushing. Because what a waste of nails. There we go. Oh, this was the new one. Oops. It's fine. They'll all get used. So take the opportunities as they're presented to you. There's a little bit of paint stuck in the tip, so I literally let that out first. There was some dried paint in the tip. Did not want that in here. So I'm going to fill that up. This hotline is a gorgeous color. I really like it. So let's see if my ideas and my talents can match each other. They don't always. I'm doing a really tight spray on this. I've tightened this up quite a bit so I can get into the lines that I want. So I'm going to adjust my light. It's going to be in your eyeballs, but this is helping me. ASMR. It could not have gunked up already. No. We just started. We literally just started. Loosen this up a little bit. I literally just started. And we're already gunked up. Come on. Okay, I've got paint now. Let me put the nozzle back on, the nozzle cap. Now, I know somebody out there is like, how are you not wearing something over your clothes and airbrushing? I'm just a very tidy person. um, I can do stuff like this and not make a god awful mess. Everyone's not like that. It is definitely a me trait. Oh, I kind of like this better. Now that I'm doing it, I'm kind of like, yeah, this is definitely the better choice. I'll have to do a little bit of dust up on some things, some dry brushing to cover up any overspray, but I'm being very careful. Actually, I don't care if that's covered or not. But this is as it was. And honestly, I'm not even going to try to get it super tight. I'm using the pink to cover up that gold highlight I was trying to do. That was such a mistake. Because the purple under it is pretty insane. Which what I might do is do something similar with this one that's a little bit too dark. Go over it with like the syringa or something, like I'm doing here, to give it kind of that outline effect. This is when mistakes become great. By accident. Somebody's going to be like, oh my God, what a great paint job. I'm like, yeah, it's because I was trying to cover up my mistakes. But now that I'm doing it, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like the halo effect behind it. Because it's kind of making the standout color stand out more. I'm really liking this. And on my, what's it called, my little smokestacks here, I'll just do a little bit more dry brushing to cover any overspray if I see any that I don't like. So I'm going to show you the difference between the two sides here in just a second. I'm kind of jazzed. This is kind of awesome. I'm not going to do the track on the inside because no one's going to see it. That's been a hard lesson for me too, is not trying to get so meticulous that I don't get stuff done. Because I've told y'all, my first army I painted, like really painted, like, oh my God, it took forever. My first group of dudes, like I was trying to drive myself batty, apparently. That's a look. So this is the resprayed. Let me adjust the light so y'all can see what I've done here. So that's my resprayed side. That's the old side. Yeah, respray, old. The pink's better. So let me do the other side here. And I'm going to come back and shore up some of these gold details with my gold air. Yeah. I'm way too happy about this. I like it when, sometimes you just got to roll with your mistakes and you might produce something better anyway. You never know. I'm not ever aiming for perfection, so please don't look at the stuff I paint and go, oh man, I wish I could paint like that. I can't paint like this. Every project is a new set of experiments. Every time I do some work to advance in my skills, it's a whole nother set of trial and error. This is just me doing my best to get a result. Sometimes I know what I'm doing. Sometimes I make all the mistakes. And it's being okay with making mistakes that makes this fun. Because if sinless perfection is your goal, well, you're better than me. I'm proud of you. Me, I just want a result that I'm happy with. And if I produce a result that I'm happy with, then I did it right. With all hobbies, if your hobby is causing you more angst than joy, find a different hobby. Like, it should be fun. If it's not fun, you're doing it wrong. I mean, I say that in jest most of the time, but seriously, if it's not fun, do something else. Take a nap, you know? I'm pretty happy with this. This is closer to what I want. The reason I switched these to the top of my list is I've got some repair stuff to do for Adepticon. I've got some magnetizing to do for these. So on my list of stuff to do, I want my Adepticon stuff ready first, and I'll get back onto other projects. But I don't put a timeline on my projects. It's just the order that I'm doing it. I don't ever want to give myself a timeline that I arbitrarily have to stick to, and then I can't, and I freak myself out. Like, no. Don't put pressure on yourself. Your hobbies should be fun. If it's not fun, you're doing it wrong. It should be a good time. Like, and Adepticon is going to be like my first, like, out of my safety corner tournament. And so there's going to be people there who are, they're playing for keeps. They're playing serious. And I'm a casual player. But that's part of the reason I do love the 30K community, is 30K does tend to be more casual in the tabletop gaming sphere, because we're lovers of lore. We play stories, not events, if that makes sense. The 40K tends to be more event driven, which that's fine if that's what you like. It's not for me. I'm very much about the story and the experience. I'll be honest, I'm not even playing to win. I just want to have a good time and meet more 30K people. So if you're going to Adepticon, perhaps you and I will be table mates and get to put our armies together. I do have a couple of friends at the store who are my official 30K coaches. That's why I've made them, because they really know what they're doing. They're part of our work in progress Wednesday people. So one Wednesday, I think instead of doing work, once I get these tanks ready, I think I'll actually do some games with them. Oh yeah, this is cool. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get a close up on camera, but just that little bit of purple relief behind it just makes it shine. Just looking where I can touch up. Don't be afraid to fix your mistakes. Don't be afraid to fix your mistakes. Man, I had to repaint that. Yep, sure did. Happens. Happens to the best of us. I've seen some of the professionals go halfway through a project and then go, nope, this isn't it. Gotta start over. When I practice Taekwondo on my own, especially when I'm doing forms, I mean, it's on the honor system when I'm practicing alone, but if I do something incorrectly, I make myself fix it. Because I know it was wrong. There's no one watching me. No one's going to care but me. But if I could have done better, then I make the choice of, am I in this moment going to fix it, or am I just going to let it ride? Not everything is that serious, like, painting figures. Not that serious. I'm not really concerned about the sponson walls because no one's going to see them, because the sponsons are going to click in there. But I've run out of paint, which is good. I'm going to spray this out. And then this guy gets to stay the way he is because I'm happy with that. This one's going to get a little bit of overspray on him. And I'm going to come back and do some gold touch up on this guy. These kinds of videos are turning out to be like my longest videos. So I'm going to open this nozzle up and get this paint sprayed out. When I'm doing the metallics, I try to go straight through with it without having to clean my brush, which is difficult because of the nature of the metallics. So I'm opening this up all the way. And now I'm going to add some thinner into it intentionally to mix with this and poke it down in there, because I'm trying to avoid having to take this thing apart right now. I'm going to have to eventually, but I don't want to do it right now. Oh, there we go. It's spraying good. Dump this out. I have a dump pot. Over time, you'll find all the different little bits and pieces that you need. I'm going to go with thinner first before I attack it with water. Scrapey, scrapey. Trying to get that film out of there if any of it's dried. Okay, it's spraying true. Now I can go in with the water. Rinsey, rinsey. And that water's draining out pretty fast, so I did a good job. Which means I can switch to my next color. I'm not going to do the alcohol at this point because I'm trying to avoid gunking, which would be very possible. So right here on the tip, there's a little bit of paint gunk. I'm pulling that off just to make sure it doesn't clog on my next spray. And now I'm going to choose the overspray color I want on this tank. I don't want it to be pink because now I've got two pink tanks. I think I'm going to put a little Eidolon Clear on this one to make it cooler looking. I don't like them to be perfectly matchy-matchy, but they should look like they go together. Somebody told me that at Adepticon, I'm probably going to get the Wow Factor Award with my army. I don't know if that's a real thing or not, because my army it's unique looking. But I'm just having fun with it. I'm looking forward to going to the creators meet and greet. That's going to be fun. If you're a creator and you're going to be there, hope to meet and greet you. Don't make it weird. But no, it's fun to get out into the community. Now I'm just checking my spray, making sure it's doing what I want. Yep, got it spraying clear. Okay, so this is going to go back up. And now I'm going to choose a top color for this one. I like that pink on top of here. The Syringa is a lovely color, but it doesn't cling as well to the black. It likes to have something on top of it. Sugar Rush is a good one too. I might do Sugar Rush. So this is the Sugar Rush color. It's a kind of back and forth kind of purple color. But notice it's one of those that's suspended on a lot of the white fluid, but this is what it comes out looking like. And it's kind of a shift. Okay, I think here's what I'm going to do. Sugar Rush on this one. Not Romeo and Juliet. Go away. I have so many colors. Wavelength is really cool. Nope, not Hotline. Just used you. Where are you? I know you're in here. I don't even know if I'm saying the name of this color right. Taro, not Taro. No, not Taro. Or Taro. I think Taro because I'm thinking of like the food. Here it is. Syringa. I think I'm going to use this as a light overspray on this one. So let's start with this guy first with the Sugar Rush. Mixy, mixy. Mixy, mixy, mixy. Awesome. All right, you know what we do. Flow improver. He the cutums. Him is. He's so cute. Ooh, that's got a lot of gunk in there. Let me make sure there's not something dried in the tip. Okay, there's not. All right, get in there. Yeah, yeah, get in there. Yeah, yeah. Shaky, shaky. ASMR. ASMR. You may have noticed, and this is just me being vain, that my face is getting thinner and thinner in videos. That is because she is on a fitness journey. I want to be at my peak condition for this year's Taekwondo trip. I don't know how much longer my instructor is going to be able to do the trip, so I really want to do well physically. And then also with starting my own school, I need to be in the best condition that I can be for my students because it'll be a while probably before I have black belts of my own. So, all right. So this is like a dark blue. It looks a little bit too ultramarine. So this should do it. Oh yeah, this is it. Never be afraid to go back. The vacuum started. We have it set to clean after work every day because we're usually not here. We're out doing something. We're at dance class. We're at the hobby store. I'm at the gym. But I want to be in my best shape for starting my own class. I've gotten a little lazy. Um, but when people come to take class from me, I want to be able to give them a good experience, especially when, it's time for me to start promoting my own black belts. I might be the only black belt I have unless some of my Nashville people come down here. So she is not like thinking like, oh, I'm fat. Like, no, this is all about me being the best version of a black belt that I can be and getting some more of my flexibility back. Because one of the drawbacks of teaching is that you do get a little lazy at some point. Not intentionally, it just happens. Um, and sometimes I'm not as rigorous with my workouts as I should be. So I'm being better, not just about my workouts, but also about what I eat as well. Making sure I eat the right things. And I don't deprive myself because I am a lover of beer. Um, love a good beer. But you got to pick where you're getting your excess calories from. So cutting out processed sugar, especially after the holidays. When I say processed sugar, I mean candy. She still eats bread and pasta. I work out a lot. I need the energy. But cutting out stuff that really is just extra. Like I really love ice cream. We gonna have to leave ice cream for special occasions. Yeah. Was I using? I'm using this one. I'm going to need another one of these. God, this is looking beautiful. I am so impressed. But yeah, she is losing weight and toning up. I care more about toning up than losing weight. Losing weight is just a byproduct of toning up. Because part of my ability to be such a good fighter, especially when I fight men, is that I'm not small. Just being real. I'm 6'1" and more than 100 pounds. More than 200, honestly. I'm very muscly. So that's what enables me to do well, but I have to be able to have good lean muscle, especially when I'm helping people with their flexibility, getting back to where I can do certain things. It matters, and having the right kind of weight on your body helps in getting those kinds of things the way you want them. Okay, I'm glad I didn't stop at a certain spot and just say, oh, it's done. Nope, this is better. When it dries, it's really going to pop. But I like that iridescence to the purple that's coming off of this. That's beautiful. That's really pretty. And again, I'm not trying to completely cover the previous coat. What I'm trying to do is just use that as kind of a base outline. Yeah, this is looking extra boss. I'm very happy with it. But that's just me. Whenever I do videos like this, it's just stream of consciousness. Just what am I thinking about in the moment? I think about Taekwondo a lot because it's a big deal. But it's the other place where I'm a super nerd. What we say a nerd is on this channel. It's what you love. It's doing what you love and being all in on it. I just ruined my paint job. No, I didn't. It's already starting to dry. Last one. So start with the thinner. And again, if it's not fun, you're doing it incorrectly. Taekwondo is fun for me. Um, you know, it's the only kind of exercise I enjoy. Besides, well, I take that back now. My husband and I do dance classes together once a week, and I thoroughly enjoy that. Man, we got a workout this week. I was gonna go to the gym today during my lunch period, and then I woke up this morning, I was like, no. So I will go tomorrow during my lunch. Lunch period, whenever I take my midday break, because I work from home. And I'll be honest, man, I'd be working stupid hours. Sometimes I'll get up at 6 if I can't sleep, and I'll work from 6 to 10 or 11, and then go to the gym and come back and work till 5 or 6. Working from home, you got to be real careful about taking care of your health because you end up, when you have a kind of job that I do, you actually end up working more. 8 hours a day, try 12. And it's not even that they're overworking me. It's just I get into a project and I want to see it done. And you because you are not being bothered, you have the ability to go uber perfectionist with what you're doing. So this last one, I'm going to top with the Syringa. I did do a contrast on it, but it's taking the sheen off. And the whole point of these metallics is the sheen. So this one's not shiny anymore. I don't like that. So let's mix this one. You are going to stay top down and go back in the bucket. And you are going to get mixed. I'm almost done with what I want to do for right now. I'll do a little gold touching up and then that'll be it. And this video will be done. I did Agrax my gold and I like it, but I think I brought it down too far for what I'm going for. It happens. I don't even know if I'm saying this right. Turbodork Syringa. That's how it's spelled. Syringa. Again, don't look at my janky nails. I know they're janky. Yeah, I put chicken in the oven for dinner before I go. She's always doing something. Always. I'm going to take him out for 10 or 15 minutes before I leave the house. Him is the dog. Always do a spray out. Make sure it's spraying before you get it on your model. All right. Last overspray and then a little bit of gold. This is what I wanted. That looks great. My husband's going to come back and look at these and be like, these are not the tanks that were here yesterday. Nope. Sure aren't. Do some more troubleshooting on my printer. I might go ahead and move it back outside because I think it's just too warm in the house now. And because of that, the nozzle is too hot. And even though I tried to adjust the nozzle temperature, it's still not balancing out. Ambient temperature matters. Like, it's the same thing as if you're baking. So when my best friend was with me, she did catering gigs, and I would travel and cater with her for extra money back in the day. And when we would go up to high elevation places, it changed your ability to bake. Like, that's why there are instructions on the box for if you're at this elevation, this elevation, this elevation, because it's going to change. Oh my God, look at that. Dull side, shiny side, shiny, dull. Yeah, this is better. These look cohesive now. I'm much happier. Never be afraid to do it again. But it would make a big difference. So I think just the ambient temperature of the house, it just isn't right. This thing is meant to be in the garage. Because I adjusted the temp and then it adjusted it back. And I was like, I told you to do this. That's okay. The only reason I'm concerned right now about printing is there's some vehicles my husband wants me to print, but there is a tree stand that I want to print for displaying my models in the competition in February. And it's going to have to be airbrushed painted because it's so big. But it's really pretty, and I can't wait to show it to y'all. Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is exactly what the doctor ordered. Perfection. Perfection. Yeah. I've got my shine the way I want it. That's looking good. So we can put this away now. And now I just need to touch up my gold on each of these. So, yeah, I'm doing a lot of metallic airbrushing without having to change in between. That's just because I've gotten good at cleaning. Cleaning after each color, knowing what to use to clean what product. This one is one of those suspended in a lot of that clear viscous fluid. So thorough wipe down, spray, spray, spray. It's spraying true. Awesome. Now, it's going to be one color for the last of these, and that's going to be the gold, and making sure my gold looks the way I want it to. It's spraying good. So for this one, I haven't opened one of these. It's going to be my, this is Phthalax Gold. So this is an airbrush paint. This one I will need to use thinner with. The airbrush paints that come from Games Workshop, from Army. Holy cow, so many names. Citadel, which is the hobby arm of Games Workshop. They're good paints, but they are a little thick for airbrush. They're a little thick. They have thickums. So I do have to thin those down a little bit. Oh my God, these look so much better. I'm so much happier with this. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Yeah, I can't wait to show these off on Work in Progress Wednesday on our thread. So this time I will be thinning. So, flow improver. Thinner. It wasn't open. And then I need this for all three of these, so I'm not going to fill it up quite, but pretty close. Close. The paint shaker is a godsend. My sister-in-law is a goddess among women for getting me that. Mix, mix, mix. Backflow mix. There. Spraying good. I'm going to tighten up the spray quite a bit, actually, because I need a lot of control. Tight, tight, tight. That's it. All right, here we go. Last layers. Now, if I get a little bit over into the purple and the pinks, I'm not that concerned. I'm really looking forward to taking the airbrushing class to really hone my skills. I'm pretty good at it, but I could be better. I'm definitely better than the first time I used an airbrush. That's for daggum sure. Yeah, better than leaving it in a box for a year now. But I really want a shiny look to these tanks. And the Agrax is great for dulling paints that are too bright. But after I Agrax them and let it dry, like when it was wet, it looked great. And then it dried, and I was like, oh, no, honey, no. Shiny's better. Better. Shiny's better. I still need to run to the store and grab a couple of things. I might do it tomorrow instead of today, because I want to just walk the dog and then go to the game shop. There's nothing I need that's that urgent. ASMR. It's going to be interesting when I get to the point of testing my own black belts. That's something I've not done before. Well, I've had black belts come up under me. As far as me being their instructor, I used to own my own school ages ago. But we still took our kids out to the main school to test, because that's still part of the same Taekwondo school system. I've never done the testing completely on my own. It's a bold new world I'm entering in my martial arts life. I don't like to think about my instructor getting older, but he has the nerve to be 84. I know, jerk. Nah, I love him very much. He's had a great influence on my life. This looks so much better. Oh my God, I'm so much happier. Yeah. Never be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are just opportunities. They're just opportunities. Check the time, because she's going to be late. And that's fine. Late happens. My dog and getting dinner started for the family is more important. My stove has remote on and off, so I'll start the chicken for dinner cooking when I leave. I'm going to I've got some Kerrygold butter softening on the counter, and it should be good and soft now. But I'm going to mix my herbs and spices into it and stuff it under the chicken skin, then tie it, then roast that bad boy. That's what she does. These are looking great. I'm very happy. Never be afraid to try again. Never be afraid to correct your mistakes. Honestly, in my line of work, being able to spot one's own mistakes, or opportunities as we like to call them, and course correct is a very valued asset. It takes a lot of training in one's own emotional intelligence to do that. But that's just something that, because of what I do for a living, I've been able to invest a lot of time in. Like, yeah, I could do this differently. I'm not going to be mad at myself that I had to go back and do something different. I'm just going to do it different. And maybe my different will be better. Oh, yeah. That's the shine. I'm trying to decide if I want to redo the turrets at all because I put a little. Actually, those look okay. Huh. No, we're going to give them a slight over just to make sure they're good and shiny. Not much. Open this up a little bit more. Not much, just a little bit to make sure the shine matches. Shiny! And this is all I'm doing this evening. That's all I'm doing. I can't believe it's already evening. The day goes by fast. I kind of like working in the middle of the night, though, because nobody's bothering me. Everyone's asleep. And plus, if I need to do some stuff without people pinging me, I can do it then because nobody's online. My house is asleep and all my coworkers are asleep. My happiness is a golden poem. Yeah, that looks so much better. They shall be bejeweled later. All right, I'm actually just going to dump this back into the paint pot. We're over an hour on this video. Oh my God, today. It is way later than I meant it to be. It's fine. Spray out. This is my foam proof thinner. This is my thinner. Spray out that thinner. The reason I'm not doing this in the pot is so I can see when the metallic runs out. The other paints I'm not as concerned about, like primer. But this metallic, I want to see that it's out of there. Because again, metallics can gunk up your airbrush like nothing else. Make sure you are using airbrush metallic paints that are meant for the airbrush. Can you use others? Yes. I have actually. I've used non-airbrush paints in my airbrush. The amount of thinning it takes, yeah, you might as well have just bought airbrush paint. Looking good. Spraying clear, spraying true. All right, that's awesome. Give the inner bit a little bit of a brushing. I'm probably going to have to take it apart and clean it the next time I use it. Look at that, gunky. But right now it's spraying pretty good, so I'm not going to take it apart right this second. Let's see what happens next time I go. But usually between airbrush sessions, it needs to take apart and clean. But as of right now, it's doing okay. There you go. That looks good. All right. Now I'm going to do an alcohol wash through it. Hang this up. I spray the alcohol. Spraying it through everything. It looks like it's spraying clear. And alcohol's out. Now water. And it's clean. Not bad. Not bad for a couple hours work. So now I'm going to get some pluck foam and pack up these things that are going to Work in Progress Wednesday with us tonight. Everyone usually gets there between like 6:30 and 7, and then we're there until. Usually we shut the place down, but glove off. This glove can go in husband's garbage. And yeah, this goes back in the airbrush pot, airbrush kit. And yeah, not a bad little afternoon spent. So I'm going to pack up for paint party, take the dog out, put a chicken in the oven, and then go. He can't go for a long walk because him's got the arthritis, but I'll take him like down and back, just a little walk. All right. Well, friends, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.